Welcome back to The Dive. Our guest today has over 30 years of business experience and has been involved in several publicly traded companies. He will deep dive into the gold price action, the upside he's seeing in the current market environment, as well as the company's most recent assay results, gold and silver concentrate, and near-term outlook. He is the CEO and director of Blue Lagoon Resources. Rana Vig is joining us today. But before we bring him on, you know the drill. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button, please. Hey, Rana, welcome to The Dive.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us today. Okay, so let's start with gold. We had this big run up for the past couple of weeks. We were even $10 shy of a new all-time high at one point. Since gold has come back down. How are you viewing the recent gold price action?
Well, I think it's fantastic. I mean, I think there's too much focus on this trying to break through these new levels. Look, as a company that's looking to be near producer here, later this year, we'll take 1900 plus gold. We'll take 1800 plus gold all day long. I mean, people forget that gold has had a pretty good run. In fact, since we took over this company just 2 years ago, gold has moved significantly from the sort of the 1350, 1450 range now to 1900 plus. So I think it's a fantastic price. I think it has a lot of room to go. I think it's going to go much higher yet, but I think we're sitting very nicely from my perspective.
So almost 3 months into 2022, and it's proven to be a challenging year for the financial markets. From your perspective, where do you think has the most potential upside in the current environment?
Well, I think it's the precious metals. I mean, there's and we're biased, obviously, somewhat, but I mean, I invest across the spectrum. I have lots of the big board holdings as well, but predominantly, I focus on where I think I'm going to get the maximum bang for my buck. And traditionally, if you're looking for a big win, right, not going for a 5, 10, 15%, but if you're looking for a 10x, a 20x, then this is the environment to be in, because as precious metals move up, as there's more and more money printing and inflation and all of these things that are going on that are perfect scenarios for gold, junior miners is where the best investment's at, because as that metal moves, by a small fraction, junior miners like us, exploration companies move by many multiples of that, and that's been proven historically. So that's where my money's at, and I'm proving it. I have a big holding in my own company. In fact, just in the last 3 or 4 weeks, I've added in the market to my position, on an ongoing basis. So I'm putting my money where my mouth is.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about Blue Lagoon Resources here. Could you give us a 2-minute elevator pitch of the company?
Sure. Look, Blue Lagoon is a very unique company. We have basically 3 parts to our story. Number one is we have a clear path to production this year. We expect to be later at the end of the year. We expect to get the green light. We already have permits in place. The only reason it's not in actually mining is because the previous owners, my predecessors, literally got too old. They ran out of time. In fact, one of them unfortunately passed away about 3 months ago. We're 83 years old. So we came along, we took over this project, we've deployed a couple $1 million to finish the last pieces of the amendment work that was required, and we expect to be in production later this year. It's not a big mine, it's about 75,000 tons a year, but you know what, that'll produce 24,000 ounces of gold and about 4 times the silver, enough to give us a nice cash. But that's the smallest part of our story. The second part of our story is we have a clear path to 1 million plus ounces from our main Boulder vein. There's 15 veins that are known on the property, but the main Boulder vein where the mine is at has a clear path to 1 million plus ounces of gold. It's a high-grade gold property, 10 grams plus, so it's beautiful. And the last piece of our story, the biggest piece of the story, is the vast exploration potential. The part that I just talked about is less than 5% of the entire property package of 22,000 hectares. So we got 2 drills running. We're hitting mineralization everywhere, and we think that we have a long runway, a long ways to go.
Mm-hmm. Well, we had Dr. Henning on a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about how interesting Blue Lagoon is. We noticed that he's not actually a part of the team, so we have to ask, how is Dr. Henning associated with the company?
Oh my goodness! It took me forever to get Dr. Hennigh's attention, about 9 months, because he kept dismissing us, saying, "Oh, you're just a small mine." But when I finally got his attention, well, after about a 90-minute technical call, literally his last words on our call, Cassandra, were, "You boys have a hidden gem here." That's what he said, and he quickly fast-tracked a meeting to Crescat Capital, which is the fund that he advises. He's a technical advisor for that. So he's not, that's how he's connected to us. That he looked at our project and he said, "Wow, you guys have a hidden gem." And he advised the fund, Crescat fund, to invest in us. In fact, just today, we just released a news released our latest financing, and Crescat was the lead. This was their second investment into our company. They were represented about 18% of the total financing that we just announced this morning of 5.7 million. So it's a huge blessing that Quinton Hennigh is on our project. He's been looking at it, studying it. We've been sharing all the data with him. And you know what? It's fantastic for me because I get him for free, right? He's not on our payroll. He's not associated with us in any way. But here's one of the greatest geological minds of our time, who loves our project.
Mm-hmm. Now, Blue Lagoon is shipping gold and silver concentrate to its mill partners. Can you walk us through your shipments and what does this mean for the company?
Oh yeah, it's been very exciting. We had about 5,000 tons of mineralized material sitting in the mine that was left by predecessors. They couldn't get it out and processed. So we took that out. We shipped it to our toll mill partner, Nicola, and it has been fantastic. We so far from that 5,000 tons, Cassandra, you won't believe we've already received about $1.6 million, from that, and we still have about another 200,000 or so that I'm expecting to get in from the final holdback payment. So that's done a couple of things for us. Number one, it's allowed us to reconfirm our metallurgy in real time, right? So we've got 95% of the gold recovery, we've got 90% of the silver. So it's been fantastic. Number two, it's allowed us to get our logistics down, all our trucking and our testing and our recording. So day one, when we get permission to mine, we don't have to do anything else. We can immediately start mining and be in a cash flow position.
The company announced its recent assay results from the 2021 drill program with the Dome Mountain Gold Project, which includes new high-grade gold vein intercepts, as you were mentioning earlier. Can you give us some color on this?
Yeah, look, we got 2 drills running, and this is one of the things that Quinton Hennigh's really liked about this. Some of the news that we've been releasing, some of the holes that we've been releasing. We've been hitting mineralization everywhere, and since actually we started our conversations with him, last summer, we've had 2 new discoveries, 2 new zones. So it's been very, very exciting. We're fully cashed up. Again, as I mentioned, we just news released this morning $5.7 million that we just raised. We already have approximately $4 million in treasury. I've got no debt in the company. I run a very tight ship here. Very, very careful with how we spend our money, and we got $4.5 million in the money warrants. So you know what? We're golden. We're in a very beautiful position to be in. 2022 is going to be a very exciting year for Blue Lagoon Resources.
So one more thing before I let you go here. What should investors be looking forward to in the near term?
Well, we've got a lot of catalysts. I'm sure you've heard this from other people who you've interviewed. The labs are running painfully behind. Some of our holes that we're waiting on, we sent to them back in October, believe it or not. They're running like 5 months behind. So we have about 26 or so assays that we're still waiting from our last program, back in that we wrapped up in December. And of course, we've been drilling since January. We're waiting for that. So there's going to be lots of news, lots of exciting things that are coming up that investors can look forward to be as catalysts. And that's why, I believe that this is an excellent time to be involved in our company and take a closer look, which is why I've been personally buying in the market.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for coming on today and sharing your story with us, Rana.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching today. We'll be back again tomorrow with the latest news, so be sure to stay tuned by hitting that notification bell and subscribing below.